I usually look for the silver lining, but today I'm not sure I can find a silver lining. I'm going to break down the CPI numbers, but understand the SPY is currently at 396, and some point today it will hit the next level down, which is 392. Not saying it hits that at the start, but I'm going to explain why. So let me simplify the CPI numbers. 8.3, which is high. We're still sitting around a 40-year high. Now, something with a 7 in front of it, 7.9, 7.8, that would give the markets room to run and have a bull rally in this bear market. But us coming in at 8.3 was tough. So I'm going to break down the numbers. Let's remove food and energy because we know food and energy is up, right? Now, the estimate was at 4/10. 4/10. We came in at 6/10, which is 50% higher than the estimate, right? You break it down, 2 over 4, we're 2/10 higher than the estimate. We're 50% higher. So if your stock's beat by 50%, you'd be like, yo, they crushed it. Well, these numbers are freaking hot. So I always look for the silver lining and I'm like, this could happen or that could happen. But the 10-year is spiking, which makes our markets more expensive. The US dollar is spiking, which makes our markets more expensive. Margin calls go out each and every day. Yesterday, probably a little less. But what happened this morning? Crypto's getting rocked. Matic is off 22%. Bitcoin less. Dogecoin or Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, getting rocked, even basic attention token, which I like because it's a more stable coin, is getting rocked. So let's talk about what controls inflation, okay? When we talk about supply and demand, okay? Understand, let's talk about the supply side. You have bottlenecking, you have supply chain issues, you have China on lockdown, you have material or input costs going up, like raw materials, right? And then you have the demand side. So as pricing goes up, it's okay because if demand doesn't go with that, then pricing will settle back down. But as long as people are willing to pay more. So now you hear on CNBC how the consumer or the retail person has a lot of money. They've got good savings. They're spending more money. They're buying more things. Well, that's terrible for inflation. As pricing goes up, and as the demand pressure is still there, that's what pushes inflation up. When demand lets off a little, that's good. So what has to give? Well, let's just assume that demand gives, okay? Consumers stop spending as much. They stop spending as much on gas, rent, new cars, old cars, vacations, nights out, entertainment. Let's say they spend less. Well, that's great, right? No, because pricing comes down. But along with pricing comes down, so do sales and earnings. So now you're saying, okay, sales and earnings are going to come down. Well, shit, that's going to take the market down because right now the market, everything is based on your earnings, your prices per earnings, your PE. So just here's a quick tip for everybody. If the company that you like does not have earnings, watch the F out because it can drop lower. Coinbase came out and they were like, yeah, well, eventually we're going to be profitable. Shit, you think Wall Street wants to hear that? It was down 15%. I bet it's down probably 25% after crypto's taking bust. So let's talk about the SPY real quick because I want everybody to make money. So I always talk about different levels of the SPY. Oh, and Romeo is going to be coming on live at 11 a.m. on this channel. So you can subscribe if you're not. If you're watching this late, that's cool as well. But he talks about the SPY. So let me break out the SPY. The SPY levels. Okay, so we're starting on the high side at 409, 404. Yes, we started this morning at 400. Then 396, you saw a bounce. If it breaks 396 to the downside, so you see 394, don't think the market's going to turn around. Okay, you're like, oh, it looks like it's turning around at 394. No, if it breaks 396 to the downside, it's going to 392 on the SPY. And the same is said if you see 391, guess what? You'll see 388. Oh yeah, look at this. So crypto's taking a bath. We've got some ETFs and ETFs. We have our NFTs on OpenSea right now. So the fact that Ethereum is taking a dive, we're now selling our NFTs publicly on OpenSea. So NFTs, basically, they include a small ownership in our platform. They include lifetime membership into our platform while you hold the NFT. The point is, if Ethereum is probably what, 2,200 now, maybe 2,100, you're paying half an Ethereum for this. Okay, so I told you about the SPY, so different levels of the SPY. So again, once we break 396 to the downside, which we haven't done pre-market. So when the market opens, expect us to go to 392. Now, what happens when the SPY goes down? UVXY goes up, okay? Now, let's talk about stocks because I mentioned that I thought that there were some stocks that have demand. But understand, with inflation as high as it is, the 10-year spiking, the dollar spiking, it's going to be dying of 1,000 paper cuts in the market. So I spoke about this to my Discord, which is 349. I won't bring out the board. I don't need to draw on it. But here's what you're going to see. Each day, you're going to see the market throw up, and I mentioned this about 3 days ago, about 400 points. And then what I expect in the market is a 50% rebound. So the market throws up 400 or 500 points, rebound. So it's only down 250 on the day. So there are ways to play the market to the downside and to the reversal. But each day, we're going to start out, and you're going to see the same thing. And I've been saying this for days. So this morning, when futures were green by like 400 points, right before CPI numbers came out, I'm like, okay, it's kind of surprising. I thought maybe we'd be flat. There's no reason to run ahead of CPI numbers, especially when the whisper on the street was they're going to come in high. So with that said, I also made a video the other day about not fighting the trend, right? The trend is your friend. So I said, if you're in calls and the markets have been bearish, now 11 out of the last 14 days, there's a good likelihood, 77% chance, the markets will be bearish today. So if you're in calls, you're fighting the trend. And yes, I still like energy. I still like some utilities. I'm making a video tomorrow morning about 2 stocks that I'm probably going to enter into today for my larger account. So there are stocks to enter into. I'll even mention them because if you guys are here, you care enough to make money in the market. So one is Mosaic, MOS, and the other one is Intrepid Potash, IPI. Now, what these stocks are good for are farming stocks, fertilizing stocks, things of that nature, because there is a world food shortage. Whether you hear about it or not, Ukraine has the most fertile soil in all the world, okay? And they produce corn, wheat. I've been talking about that for months. But also, they're not going to be able to harvest maybe 20% of their normal harvest. And they're the 3rd leading exporter of some of these goods and foods, right? China doesn't have enough food to feed their country as is. So understand, the market is probably going to kill you from 1,000 paper cuts, okay? So we have a platform member, Love, who will be joining Romeo for the live stream today at 11 a.m. on this channel. But Love's strategy, and which it has been for 3 straight weeks, and she's been killing it, and it makes me so proud when my members do well. It makes me so proud when one member says he's got 18 straight winning days. I don't care if you make 3% or 15%, 18 straight winning days in this terrible market. Some dude the other day said 10 straight winning days, 10 straight winning days in this market. So understand, it is possible, and I am here to help you beat the market, right? To take our money back from institutions. So, okay, yeah, join the family. That's cool. Somebody's asking questions. I'm just seeing questions. Let's do a couple questions. I'm seeing someone has a question about Shop. So here's the thing on Shop. I did a Shopify video, and I mentioned this to my Discord as well. But I did a Shopify video, and as I'm making the video, the stock is $720. And I'm thinking to myself, this stock's true value is probably like 510. If it gets to 500, it's probably going there. In fact, I did a valuation on the company, and I'm like, if I had to throw out a valuation, I would say $170. But nobody would watch any of my videos because Shop is 700, and I'm going to say it's going to 170, and people are going to think I'm absolutely fucking crazy. So, Shop, do I still think it's going to 170? No, but there is downside potential on Shop. You have to look at the PE. You have to look at earnings. So, Shop is a company I'd stay away from. Let's get some more questions up if we have. Okay, you have XOM and Mike and Morgan Stanley. Okay, so should you sell the open? So here's the 2 good things for you, Cool Check. Now, again, you cannot fight the market. So I can't give you an answer on exactly what you should do. But if I was in that position, energy, I like energy. So I would be watching the XLE to gauge my XOM, and I would keep Chevron. That would be the top of my watch list. And same with Morgan Stanley. I would keep that. I would keep Goldman Sachs. I would keep Citigroup right there because the 10-year is going up. As interest rates go up, banks should actually do better. So when I talk about there are some stocks that I'd rather be in during this turbulent market, I would rather be in energy and banking stocks. So that's why it makes it hard. If you ask me, like you had Shopify and Roblox and I don't know any other tech company today, Airbnb, right? Airbnb doesn't have earnings, right? Do they have earnings yet? No, their PE is 60. So Airbnb can technically go down another 60 points, right? So their PE would be down to 30. Airbnb is not a tech company, right? They're more into housing. They're more into hotels. They're more into travel. So I would tie them more into like an Expedia or something like that. But the point is, Airbnb was $152 on my Discord platform. I made a posting because there was a dark pool order and they sold $131 million worth of Airbnb at $152. It was pre-market. They sold their shares at $145. So they took a 6% discount to get $131 million out of it. But now they look like a freaking genius because Airbnb is 116 off 2% pre-market. So it's 113, but the PE on that stock is still at 60. So I say, okay, the PE, let's say it goes down to 40. That means you have to take a third of the value away. So let's take 40 points away from Airbnb and you'll be at $76. So yes, my strategy has completely changed because I'm basing it on valuations. So if I'm telling you the market is going to be rocky, and it doesn't mean every day is going to be down, there will be like a bull rally here and there. But overall, the same way Shopify went from $730 down to like, I don't know, 390, let's say it's at. I don't even know where it's at this morning. Airbnb can drop another 33%. And there are other companies like that. But again, there are energy companies. I mean, look at Block. Block, they pushed Block up to $91 at open yesterday, right? Square, right? Jack Dempsey's company, he left Twitter, he's with Block, fintech companies. Well, if crypto gets whacked and Square already came out with earnings a week ago and they tried to push it up, same with PayPal, and you're talking about companies that are almost at 52-week lows. So when a company hits a new high, which happened 24 times yesterday, 24 companies hit new highs yesterday. Guess how many companies hit new lows yesterday? 1,420 something. 1,400 companies hit new lows. So the same way I tell you that I did a report back in college where if a company hits a new high, likely 4 months from now, it's 28% higher. I'm assuming when a company hits a new low, probably 4 months from now, it's probably 28% lower. So you've already heard many times, the market's going to be tough. The SPY can go down to 380, 385. Remember, we're at 396. So that's another 3 or 4%. Now, do I think it's happening today? Probably not. Oh, it broke 3. Okay. Thank you, Love. All right. So again, Love's going to be on. She's like the SPY queen. Romeo's the SPY king. They're coming on at 11 a.m. live on this channel. Now, Romeo, just to give you a little background for anybody that doesn't know, he had an account of $2,500. He started trading with 349 family. He was up to 5,500. His 5,500 became $84. Blew up his freaking account. Started trading the SPY, started trading one option at a time, took his account from $84 within 5 weeks to $15,000. That was last summer. Since then, he crushes the SPY. There are days he makes $7,000. And I say to him, dude, do you feel any pressure today? He's like, no. I said, a year ago when we were talking, him and I, did you ever think you'd make $7,000 in a day? And he's like, no. And he's the chief marketing officer at another company. And Love, who's going to be talking at 11 o'clock, she's an accounting professor. She knows numbers. So that's what it is. All right, Matt, do we have more downside with Apple? Oh, unfortunately, we do. Okay, so here's another thing. Analysts on CNBC were talking, and they were talking about 3 stocks. What is a great price to buy something? So then one guy brought up Nike, and it's $112 down from $136. And he goes, I would be a buyer at $99. I'm like, no fucking shit. I'd be a buyer 14% lower too. So Apple sitting at 155 right now. One dude said, I would be a buyer in Apple at 125. Well, no shit. I'd be a buyer in Apple at 125 also. Do I think Apple can go down to 125? No. Would it surprise me if Apple went down to like 142? No. When the market bottoms, Apple will be at 142. When the market goes down and the SPY's at 388 or, something like that, Apple will be at 142, 143. So unfortunately, it has downside. Yeah, please join today. Oh, and last thing is somebody made a huge bet. So the big money is not always correct. Somebody made $1 million bet, over $1 million. The QQQ was 300 and their strike expiring on Friday, which is in 3 days, including today, was 307. So they're $7 out of the money. For them to be profitable, the QQQ has to go up to 308. It's probably down under 300 this morning. So that's $1 million wasted. Yes, they'll probably sell something like that. Romeo would buy Apple at 115. Yeah, no shit. I would buy Tesla at 200, but that's not always going to happen. Great. You've got $140 puts. Okay, so here's one more lesson, because you see Love mentioning $140 puts or Romeo saying where he'd buy it. Two of my most favorite people on the platform are the smartest, not the smartest. They do the best. Okay, they do their homework. They do the best. But here's the thing. Does it mean Apple has to go under 140? No. If Love has puts, let's say their June puts at 140, and Apple takes a shit on itself today and falls 4%, her options will go up like 40%. If it happens a couple more days, but still Apple's above there, it won't really matter. She'll make money. She doesn't need it under 140. She does by that time she's holding, but we're trading. All right, you need to average down on your NFT. No, for anybody that bought the NFT, they did great because they bought it with Matic. Now you have to buy it with Ethereum. It costs 0.5 Ethereum. It's on OpenSea. We had one purchase yesterday, one purchase the day before. We haven't even started talking about it. So people actually see the value, which is nice to understand. Let me see if I have any more stocks today. Let's just remember, I'm going to show you guys a chart real quick. I'll make it real small. But let's remember, when things are going down and then they look to recover, they get worse and they look to recover. So here's what I expect. You see this chart? Remember at like 10:15, I'm like, oh, it looks like it's going to rebound. It's not. It gets worse. So I'm not telling you the market's going to throw up on itself all day, because at some point they will see some value and they'll try and make it pop. But the SPY will trade between a range of 391.80 on the downside. So again, I'm saying it breaks under 392 to 391 and change. And then it probably can pop all the way back up to 400. So my trading range for the SPY today, and I'm sure Romeo will talk more about it right now, and I'll get to that comment in a second, is between 391 and 400. So if you're looking and you see getting close to 400, you're like, time for puts. 391, wait for your calls because you don't want to fight momentum. But at 391, I'm buying one or two. If it goes down, I might buy a couple more as long as I think it's a turnaround. All right, cool check. The NFT is a buy right now. If you can buy multiples, you'll make money. Yeah, so here's the thing about our NFT. So you get a 0.014% ownership of 349 trading. You get paid in crypto at the end of the year. So you're making a percentage. Then let's say the crypto that it's based on, Matic, which is at like 70 right now, doubles or even triples, goes to 210 in a year or two. So your NFT is worth 3 times the value. Let's say the value of our company, we grow and we have 500,000 subscribers by then. We only have 4,000 now, but it takes about 2 years. So let's say we have that, the value of our company would probably be worth 10x. So now you're 10xing it, 3x on the crypto. So your return is probably going to be 30 times. So when I say I like math, I like investing, the whole reason we offer the NFTs were just for platform members to own a piece of the company as we grow. The fact that platform members maybe bought, like 10 or 12% of them leaves a whole lot of percent for the public, 88%. So a lot of people are going to make money. Let me just see. Any thoughts? Let's see what else we have. Beware of fake outs, Love mentions. Yeah, so we're all good for today. Let's have a great day trading. Again, Romeo and Love, 11 a.m. I'm going to join them, but from the sidelines, making comments. Hope to see you all there. Thanks for watching this morning.